Most people accept the first settlement offer from insurance companies without knowing they're leaving six figures on the table. In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what personal injury lawyers don't want you to understand about how settlements really work. Most people accept the first settlement offer from insurance companies without knowing they're leaving six figures on the table. In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what personal injury lawyers don't want you to understand about how settlements really work. Let me start with a real story. Sarah was hit by a delivery truck while crossing the street. Broken collarbone, 3 months of physical therapy, lost wages. 2 weeks later, the insurance adjuster called with a settlement offer, $32,000. It seemed reasonable. It was more money than she'd ever seen at once. So she signed the papers. 6 months later, her medical bills kept coming. Physical therapy wasn't finished. She needed a surgery the first doctor missed. By the time all her medical expenses were paid, Sarah had only $5,000 left. She'd accepted a number without understanding what that number actually meant. Here's what nobody tells you. The first offer is almost never the real number. Section 1. The anchoring trap. When an insurance company makes you an initial offer, they're using a psychological tactic called anchoring. They throw out a number, say $20,000, and suddenly that becomes the reference point in your head. Everything else gets compared to that number. Even if you negotiate up to $40,000, you feel like you won because you're thinking relative to that first anchor. But here's the hidden part. Insurance companies know the actual value of your claim is often 2 to 3 times higher. They're betting you don't know that. They're betting you're emotional, injured, and just want the pain to stop. Let me give you concrete numbers. A person with a soft tissue injury, whiplash, muscle strain, that's typically worth between $15,000 and $50,000, depending on severity and state. But the first offer usually lands at the bottom of that range. A broken bone with surgery involved? That's $50,000 to $250,000. The first offer sits around $60,000 to $80,000. The insurance company knows these ranges. They're counting on you not knowing them. Section 2. The hidden costs trap. Here's where the $50,000 mistake happens. You get offered $45,000. Your medical bills so far are $12,000. You do the math. $33,000 left. That's life-changing money when you're hurt and scared. But you're doing the math wrong. You're not accounting for future medical treatment. That shoulder injury? Orthopedic surgeons will tell you it needs monitoring for years. You're not accounting for lost earning capacity. If your injury affects your ability to work certain jobs, that's calculated into your settlement value. You're not accounting for pain and suffering, which in most jurisdictions is valued at a multiple of your actual medical expenses. In many states, pain and suffering is worth 2 to 5 times your medical bills. So if your medical bills are $30,000, pain and suffering alone could be $60,000 to $150,000. Most people never calculate this. Insurance knows most people never calculate this. Section 3. The statute of limitations. Pressure. Insurance companies use time against you. They make you feel rushed. They'll say things like, "This offer is only good for 2 weeks." They imply that if you don't take it now, you'll get nothing. This creates artificial urgency. Suddenly, you're making a 6-figure decision in 14 days while you're on painkillers and missing work. Here's the reality. In most states, you have 2 to 3 years to file a lawsuit. 2 to 3 years. That means you don't need to settle immediately. You have time to get proper medical evaluation. You have time to understand the full extent of your injuries. You have time to get a lawyer to actually value your claim instead of guessing. The insurance company knows that if you wait 6 months and get proper documentation of your injuries, your claim value goes up 40 to 60%. So they pressure you now. Take $35,000 today, or roll the dice on a lawsuit. But what they're not saying is take $35,000 today or get a lawyer and probably settle for $80,000 in 8 months. Section 4. The Lawyer Negotiation Advantage. Here's something that will shock you. When you hire a personal injury lawyer on contingency, meaning they only get paid if you win, settlement offers increase by an average of 3 to 4 times. 3 to 4 times. A claim that's worth $35,000 when you negotiate alone becomes $100,000 to $140,000 when represented by counsel. Why? Because insurance companies know that lawyers understand the true value of claims. Lawyers know how to calculate damages. Lawyers know how to document injuries properly. Lawyers have the credibility and track record to actually take a case to trial, which scares insurance companies more than anything else. When you call an insurance company alone and say, "I want more money," they hear desperation. When a lawyer calls and says, "We're prepared to litigate," they hear risk. Insurance companies avoid trials because trials are expensive and unpredictable. A lawyer's mere presence changes the negotiating dynamic completely. Section 4. What to do instead. If you're injured and get a settlement offer, do this. First, don't respond immediately. Tell them you need time to consider. Second, document everything. Medical records, bills, photos of your injuries, records of missed work. Third, get a free consultation with a personal injury attorney. Most work on contingency, so there's no upfront cost a lawyer wow.